What's up, everybody? Welcome to the AfterBuzz after show of Mr. Robot. I'm Ashley, your host for the night. I've got a great panel of hosts here to discuss the episode with me. Wow, we've got a lot of stuff from this episode. We have Romero, we have Mobley, we have Angela, Price, and of course, Elliot, Mr. Robot. So grab your Adderall, JK. Be back in just a second with you guys, all right? We'll see you soon.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All right, welcome everybody.
I am still in shock. My brain is overloaded right now.
I have to spend so much
too.
time processing all of these episodes, you know?
This is so crazy.
Like you said, I think we all may need some Adderall.
I think so. I mean, I have some here, just, in case I didn't say that out
That's
loud. I didn't say
clearly
that
the
in air.
solution
Yeah,
based
clearly.
off of this episode, right?
All right, welcome guys to the AfterBuzz After Show, Mr. Robot. This was a great episode. I'm Ashley, your host for the night. Thank you all for joining me. And I have some amazing, very handsome, debonair, dashing co-hosts with
She
me
flatters
today.
us.
Yes. So why don't you guys introduce yourself and let them know where they
Absolutely.
can find you?
My name is Taylor. I'm Taylor Boldt. I'm new to the AfterBuzz family here on Mr. Robot, so thank you very much for having me
Yes.
tonight. I'm very excited to be here. You can find me on Twitter at Taybolt, that's B-O-L-D-T, and on Instagram at Tbolt, also B-O-L-D-T.
Oh, there's a D, huh?
Yeah, there's a D. My ancestors kind of
Fancy.
threw it
Yes.
in there to mix it up.
He's got the coolest name in the world. What's up, everybody? It's JC. You can find me at JC Rubio TV all across the board. And Taylor, my man, welcome to the team,
Yeah,
man.
it's nice to have
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you.
And we got to get a quick shout out to
Quick
Steve
shout
Kaufman.
out to Steve. He's in Comic-Con right now.
Hopefully talking to the cast.
Hopefully having the time of his life. So shout out to Steve, and I'm sure he'll have some great updates for us when he gets back.
Hey, Steve.
And guys, if you guys want to chat with us, we are in the chat tonight. JC is on it. So give us your comments. Let us know what you thought about this episode. We are excited and ready to just dive right in.
Yeah,
right?
chime in. Let us know what you think. You're our fourth co-host.
Yes,
yeah, you
for
might
tonight.
replace me tonight. I can't even speak. But yeah, shout out to Jeff P, Sylvia Love. Chime in with all your thoughts, your theories. Everyone join along. We could use the help because there's
Absolutely.
a lot to talk about.
All right, so then just first initial impressions of this episode. What did you think about it? Did you have any expectations going into it from the first two episodes? We came fresh out of the season premiere. How are you guys feeling about episode 2 of season 2?
Yeah, I feel like a lot happened. You know, I mean, we got sort of the phone call cliffhanger at the end of last
Right.
episode. So I knew that there was going to be something interesting in this one, but it didn't really have much to do with that.
Yeah.
Actually, it was very much centered around Elliot, and then of course our detective friend who is now on the case, as it were.
I love how, and maybe this is just me sort of reaching now that I'm in the Mr. Robot world, and I'm like, everything is a clue. But I love how there's kind of a theme now revolving around each of these episodes. And tonight I felt like this was about control, or trying to gain control, and realizing that you're not in control, or that control is an illusion for a lot of these characters. So that was the biggest takeaway that I got from it. And we'll kind of dive more into it with the other characters in this episode. But that was something that was really interesting to me, and it kind of made me think, like, am I in control? Like, do I know what's going on? Is this an illusion? Is this real?
This show gets under your skin.
It does.
It
And
really
it's
does.
running with the theme. The whole season, the theme is control is an illusion. I think tonight, more specifically, it was the breaking point.
Yeah.
Because of the definition of the show, it was a kernel panic, which means basically I wrote it down.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the
Yes,
operation.
give us the
Let's
note.
see. The abbreviation is KP. It is an action taken by an operating system upon detecting an internal fatal
error.
and fatal error. Thank you.
Yes.
From which
Yeah.
it cannot safely recover.
You know, like the blue screen of death.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, basically.
It's happened on all our computers, and it kind of happened to Elliot.
Not kind of. In a major way, it happened to Elliot.
Can it get any darker this season? They said it was going to be dark,
think
but I can't wait to talk about this tonight. The
Yeah.
scene.
Maybe
with
it
Elliot.
can though. I'm a little afraid to put that out there, just because I don't know. Like it's dark. It's
Yeah.
absolutely dark, but we can probably still go down further.
But I love it though. It's one of the things, and it's really sad. I don't know what that says about me, but it's one of the things that I really like about this show. I love about this show is that it's not afraid to push the limits. And there was a lot of scenes where I was like, am I really watching this? Like, is this on USA? But it's just great that they they push boundaries and they don't limit themselves as far as the storyline is concerned. And that makes for really compelling television shows and you know, scenes to watch.
Absolutely.
So,
let's dig into
said
this.
it.
yeah, so let's go ahead and dive in. So we start off with Romero. We do a little bit of a flashback with Romero and Mobley. May he,
I was so
may he
sad.
rest in peace.
Are you kidding me?
Pour a cup for our
because
man Romero.
Doing the research for the show, I felt, you know, this season it was going to delve into everyone's backstory. I'm like, oh, you know, we didn't get to see Romero the first 2 episodes,
Right.
and I saw this, and it's just like, because I really I enjoyed his character. He was the one that was the staunch one of the group. He was the one that
Yeah.
stood up to Mr. Robot Elliot, and then to see him just snuffed out like that, I
Yeah.
wanted to see more.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, I'm actually conflicted. I'm gonna take that back, because as much as I wanted to see more of him, didn't he just, Sam Esmail, give us everything just in the history, you know, in the open
He
of the
did,
show
yeah.
of Romero?
I love the flashback. I love the setup of like the cursed arcade and getting to see
Yes.
some Romero. I was not expecting him to go like that off screen, you know?
Yeah.
Just like come across the body.
I know. It's just so sad.
What is this, game of Mr. Robot?
Game of Mr.
No one
Robot.
is safe.
Well, they were at an arcade,
Yeah.
so it could be the game. That's the sequel to Game of Thrones is the game of Mr. Robot.
Well, we're setting up a theme, I think, because we have, you know, this is the second that I can think of right now major character that we see. We just come across the body. We don't
Yeah.
see them actually die.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting. It's very Shakespearean. You know,
Yes,
it's a
absolutely.
very Shakespearean choice.
And I think about what Price said, you know, when he was talking to Angela, you know, in regards to getting in about, you know, bad things always happen to good people. I'm paraphrasing, but something of that sort. And thinking about like Gideon and Romero, like these were people who they had good intentions. You know, we see in the flashback that he was trying to be on the straight and narrow. He was trying to take care of his mom. He was trying to, you know, do the right things. And this was a movement that they all believed in, that they all thought was for the greater good. And it's like, look where it ended him, you know, look how it ended
Yeah.
up for him. So just interesting how in this world, you know, the people who have the best intentions or are trying to do the right things, you know, quote unquote, kind of get the short end of the stick, you know?
Yeah.
And to add to
No, please, my man.
And no, the beauty on top of that is that we've watched the show now for what are we on, episode 13, and until now we finally start getting a backstory on Romero.
Yeah.
And in other shows we'd be like, you know, I want to know more about this character, but it's almost like Sam is almost playing with us, like,
Yeah.
here's a crumb, here's something from Romero. And we're like, oh, yes,
give it to
yes,
us, yeah,
thank you,
I know.
thank you.
I love the mystery. I mean, I think that's such a part of the show, just at
Yeah.
its core, for all of these characters. And for Elliot, especially. I mean, he's the biggest enigma of all of them, where we can't figure this guy out. And so not knowing Romero, and then the realization that we may never get the chance to is sort of, it's painful in a good way, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, we get the flashback, and who knows, we might get other
more.
flashbacks. So I'm crossing my fingers for that. But yeah, as painful as it is, it's poignant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
the
agree.
whole, like, you don't have control.
And I want to share, like I said, I wanted to bring the fans in as
Yeah.
well. And we have Shay T789, and she said, "What's up, y'all? The cement vomit scene was one of the most difficult scenes to watch in TV history." We're gonna dive into that,
Yes,
but
we'll get into
Yeah.
it in
Sure.
a second. Yeah. Okay, quick question for the chat, for people watching, and for you guys. Why do you think, because I know that Mobley told Darlene, and so they knew that he was dead, but why do you think they didn't try to sort of cover up the murder? I mean, his mom was the only one who was there, and she didn't know he was dead. Or try to collect files or anything that would connect them. I know that his servers, you know, literally exploded.
Self-destructed, which was pretty cool. I kind
But
of
you
want that on
know,
my
but
computer.
kind of leaving
for no
stuff
reason.
behind. I know, right? Exactly. If your parent try to get on your computer, folks, don't try this at home.
I
But
have
you know,
nothing incriminating on my computer, but I still think it's
Of
cool.
course.
All right.
but yeah, but you know, to kind of cover their tracks, the FBI agent found those files, those papers that eventually led, you know, the flyer. Like, do you think it was reckless for them to sort of leave that stuff behind, or was it just he panicked in the moment and then?
Yeah, see, this is a really good point, because I thought it was super sloppy for Romero. You know, I think it was. He seems like the kind of guy, because he's more paranoid, I think, than most of them.
Yeah.
They're all paranoid, but I mean, he's the one he's been in prison for 6 years. We learned that at the beginning of the episode, and he has paper evidence that he didn't burn or
Yeah.
destroy.
Or why did
that his-
Darlene and the rest of them come after once they found out he was dead and try and clean that up? you
Yeah,
know?
something, anything. Maybe they were just trying to get away from it, but
Yeah.
it led them you know,
Right. Yeah, essentially.
without getting too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So that makes you wonder what exactly happened in that scene, which hopefully we will find out
Yeah.
on Romero's death.
We're gonna see
caused
that.
him to panic
Yeah.
and be, like you said, sloppy. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's more speculation. Just when you think you're gonna get an answer, we get more questions.
Never.
Whatever it
Ways
is.
more questions. We're like an enigma wrapped in a arcade, wrapped in a whole bunch of other stuff.
But some
All right.
people actually had problems with with Romero's mother scene later in the episode. Okay, we'll get into that a little bit. Sylvia Love.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
I think Romero's death is going to be central for a while. I think that the
course.
circumstances around his shooting are going to last. I predict for a lot of the season.
Yeah.
And it was great seeing at the time with he and Mobley being like they're buds. They were actually
Yeah.
just genuine
Just
friends
cool.
outside. Yeah, they were cool. That's it. You know.
Yeah. And now sort of seeing the seed being planted where it's going to cause even more paranoia within the group, and we're kind of seeing a wedge being drawn between,
Right.
Yes.
you know, and that whole thing that could possibly even
What's going to happen with Mobley?
what's going to happen
between-
with them?
Yeah.
Mobley, Trenton, everybody else who was a part of the F Society crew. Is that going to cause, you know, a lot of paranoid?
Well, they're falling
feelings?
apart. I mean,
Exactly.
they're getting executed. Maybe we don't know exactly, and now they don't trust each
Yeah, because
other.
they're thinking it's Dark Army, and then now that Dom, the FBI agent's starting to find some clues,
Yeah.
and now because right now it's turning into a hornet's nest.
Right.
They're infighting and whatnot, but now you're going to have possibly the added pressure that Dom is getting closer. So how are they going to handle that?
Plus, through all of this, Elliot's AWOL. Through
Right.
all of this, we don't. I mean, he has no contact with him whatsoever.
And speaking of Elliot, let's just jump
Speaking of
right
Elliot.
in to the fun madness that never stops. So we had some really great scenes. For those of you who have not seen it, please watch it first because spoilers are ahead. Wow, yes. So we mentioned in the chat there was some really great scenes with. I don't know what to make of it. It's like it's really hard for me to his mind.
I think the Adderall montage might be
Yeah.
one of my favorite things so
this
far
entire
of all
season
of
for
it.
both- yeah,
yeah,
for
for
both one
of
and
either
two.
season because I thought it was just really well done. He goes to any length to try to keep his demons at bay,
Yeah.
and it's clearly not a long-term solution.
Right.
But throughout that entire montage, he's so happy, and I love that we get to see. Even if it's drug-induced and partly psychosomatic or whatever,
This was
we
a
get to
happy
see a
episode.
happy Elliot. Yeah, we
Yeah.
get to see him smile for kind of the first time. I mean, he went off the deep end for sure.
A little bit.
He took a lot of Adderall. I mean, that was
I've never heard of someone, for that long.
Yeah.
Modafinil, Elliot. Okay, we'll talk later. But now what I was going to say, but here's another thing. Kudos to Rami Malek because we were talking about it that I guess Sam Esmail he spoke, I believe, on, I don't know if it was a podcast or I read it somewhere that this episode was supposed to be the funny episode.
Yeah.
And we were and I told you guys coming in, this is supposed to be the funny episode.
And we were like,
we were
where
like,
is it at?
where is it? This is so dark.
Yeah.
And then we got to the Adderall montage.
Yeah, the
It was
Adderall
like,
montage. Perfect. It was levity, I guess.
Yeah.
In a mountain of darkness.
We should address the preamble to that scene though, the
Right.
cement, all of that
Yes.
that goodness, the cement and then
Yeah.
the vomit.
That's what I was saying. I don't know what to make of it because this is all in his head, essentially.
Yeah, and I mean, I
you
think
know?
it's just like we see the man in the black suit,
Mm-hmm.
which has been a theme always of his paranoia, but I thought it was really happening.
Yeah,
and
same here.
the show always does this to me. You know what I mean? I'm like, what is real? Because it could all be fake. I don't know. It
Yeah.
could all be in his head. But black SUVs, man, it's like
That's a good one.
nothing
It's a
good
staple.
ever comes from
Yeah.
black SUVs.
And do you think it was a purposeful choice by Esmail himself to put in a Walter White looking type of gentleman that's sitting in the because that is one of his favorite
Maybe.
shows as well.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
loved Breaking Bad, so maybe a little slight tip of the cap.
And it kind of
Yeah.
reminded me of Beautiful Mind, too, with Russell Crowe, with the guy who was also, in his imagination. Yeah, it's that same kind of stereotypical, like, 50s, like, hey, Sonny, type of thing, sly guy who just kind of roughs you up a little bit, and then you find out he's not real.
Can I ask a question?
He's not even outside. I mean, he's just
Okay.
he's in his apartment.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask because the
Where was
internet
he?
was
Yeah.
the internet's been talking about it all week. That is he in prison? Is it an institution?
Hmm.
Because since it's all made up in his mind, did we get any clues or is no?
I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if there's anything concrete. I mean,
Yeah.
the diner.
No pun intended. Yeah.
The diner, maybe intended. The diner that he keeps going to, it could be like a cafeteria. It could be like some sort of institutional cafeteria.
Well, check this out. If you go a step further, if you rewatch the episodes last week, the same people that were in the cafeteria were playing basketball.
Okay.
Interesting.
So, like, let's say if
So
you're
they
in prison,
they
you're-
either didn't want to hire 2 sets of extras,
No.
or. But no, I don't
It's
think they
Hollywood,
would. I don't think
guys.
I
they would
saw
check
that on
over.
Reddit. I saw that on Reddit. Someone took a screen cap, and there was the same bald-headed guy
people.
that he was in the diner at the basketball game. So I'm like, okay,
That's interesting.
So chat, let us know what you think. Is he in an institution, laying in a bed somewhere? You know, is he in a white jacket somewhere, hand strapped? Where are we at with that? So
And is it self-induced?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because it seems like it's self-induced, but
to keep Mr. Robot at bay.
right. But I don't know, that I can kind of poke holes in that too.
Yeah.
It seems like
And that's the beauty of it, because like this, once again, Esmail told us he wanted us to go through the journey through Elliot's eyes as well, because it's infuriating. All last season, that's all we did was, is it real? Is it
Yeah.
real? That's all,
Sure.
and fans got so mad at us
now
because
he wants us to move past that.
But he also told us he wants us to experience this just as Elliot is.
because it's real to Elliot, right? It's, I mean, this is Elliot's reality. It's twisted, but it's as far
Well-
as he perceives it. I mean, that's sort of a theme too. It's like, what is reality? Is it just what we perceive? So what's to say if this is how he perceives everything? This is his reality. He doesn't have an alternative reality.
Let's put a
He had cement poured down his throat, and then he threw up
Yeah,
grits
that's
and Adderall
insane.
all over the floor,
and then ate the grits
And then
thrown
ate
up
the Adderall grits.
again.
Oh, that's a rough breakfast.
It tells you
Breakfast
the,
for champions,
the
guys.
madness. The
I
madness.
have it with
Grits
my
and Adderall.
Wheaties every morning.
Ugh.
But we'll put a little pin in Elliot because we'll come back to him with Ray at the end. So going into Angela, well, actually, let's go with Darlene and Mobley and Trenton and people getting executed.
Right.
Yeah. How are we feeling about, I guess, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Darlene, and I don't know why she feels so calm and collected and just a little bit more in control. It seems like it could be her just putting on a really good poker face. With the stuff that's been happening, every step of the way, she's like, no, it's not Elliot. No, nobody's after us. Nobody knows nothing. But it's like, it's a very real possibility that FBI's could be, right outside your door, ready to knock it down and arrest you. So
Yeah.
I think she did that more as, like you said, she's taking taking the bull by the horns, taking the lead, and just ensuring that Mobley and Trent don't flip. She's just
Trying to calm everyone down.
Calm everyone
Yeah.
down. Inside, she was in the first episode where she
Right.
was on the floor in pieces.
yeah.
But she still has to put that face up. She still has to keep it together.
But and maybe this is just a choice they made, but we haven't really seen scenes that sort of show the other side of that, at least in this episode. So it just kind of leads me to believe, like, does she know a little bit more about what's happening in the situation and maybe she's telling the others? I don't know. It just seems
They
like she's
think
a
that
little
she
bit.
does.
Okay. Maybe
No,
that's what it is.
but I mean, I don't necessarily think that she doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of the problem. So I think it's interesting that you picked up on that, because that's exactly what I think that
They think.
they think. It's all reality is just what we perceive,
Yeah.
right?
The fans are on top of it too. They just chimed in from the previous thought. They just said he doesn't trust us. Remember that as well. So you could be making it up to.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing.
Steer
That's like
us
one of the
be
first things he set up.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
And
gonna
then-
this is gonna be a fun season.
And that was Jeff P. Thank you for the heads up, Jeff P.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. So I mean, do we think that this is? I mean, what's? Do you guys have any just really quick thoughts about what happened with Romero and sort of, and then with Trenton too? Like, is she still a part of this, or?
Well, she said it herself there that she thought it was still not. I don't want to say elementary, but they were just goofy. Their intentions were not the same. She said
their
that last
intentions
season.
were lost.
Yeah, she said that last season as well, and she stayed true to her character in that sense. So
Yeah.
she's pretty much the same. She's like, my name's Bennett, and I ain't in it. Yeah, at least trying to
Exactly.
wash her hands clean.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone's having that buyer's remorse. Elliot did last episode. Trenton and more than likely Romero.
Yeah.
Like Darlene said, everyone was half in, except for Darlene.
We're all in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, speaking of all in, we have Price all in Angela's head, right? Very, very interesting scene. We were talking about this before we started doing the show. I really like Price's character because he's not the typical, muhaha, evil guy, rubbing his mustache. He's very methodical, and in this episode, for me, the whole theme was control. He seems to be the only person who really kind of has a step ahead of everybody else. Everybody is trying to like catch up to each other and be in control before the other person is control. He seems to be like light years ahead.
So what did you want to see his flaw? Because everyone has a vulnerability,
Yeah.
Including Price.
Yeah, it's like
When
one
we-
of the principles of the whole show,
Yeah.
right? Of hacking in general.
Yeah.
Is that there's always a flaw. There's always a bug.
Yeah.
That was the word, right?
What's his
The
bug?
bug.
Yeah, he's got to have one. I love all of the corporate. I love how we see just through characters humanizing E Corp. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the humanization, is that a word?
Yeah.
Of
We'll take it, yeah.
Oh yeah, right,
We're
thank
adding it
you,
to our
being
episode,
generous. For the entire corporation, because it almost gives you that feeling, especially now that Angela's on the inside,
Yeah.
and Angela has her. We don't really know. Like, I still really like Angela, but like, am I supposed to? Should I? Because she's got her mind made up that she. Well, we don't know. She
where
has a
her
very
mind is,
specific.
yeah.
She has a very specific moral quandary right now. Because we did also get, the it's easier to take it down from the inside. That's what Colby said. I don't know. She's a wild card right now, and I think Price might be too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As far as how he can affect her, you know what I mean?
But I think he is a little bit more, like I was saying, in control of it. Like Angela right now, she seems like she is kind of hanging on the balance. Like she could go either way.
Right.
And Price is definitely trying to sway her in a very specific direction. And in which direction, I can kind of guess, but I'm not 100% sure. But there's definitely a lot of manipulation there. There's a lot of trying to make her doubt herself and doubt what she really came to do, which is great. And it's just like little tiny breadcrumbs
So
that he drops.
just to be clear, as far as the two men that they had, Saul and what is it, Jim, they had dinner with. This is a test for her to destroy the evidence against them, right? It was weird. I almost got the sense that he just the way that scene played out. I'll go back and rewatch it.
Exactly.
But
no, of course, it was all a game. It was all manipulation, setting her up to think something else was going to happen.
Sure.
Kind
Did
of
it
like
twice.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
She thought she was going on a date because you see what she was wearing. And
which I was surprised. I was like, that leads me to believe maybe, because I was kind of surprised that she was like into the date at first, you know what I mean? Unless she is sort of playing the game still. You know what I mean?
she's playing. Look, she has her plan, but she forgets that she's going up against the person who's played so many games with higher
yeah.
stakes.
She's playing his game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's walking into, but we can't judge that because I think that would be lazy. I think in the
Yeah.
writing if we think that's going to happen. So
Of
there's
course.
something that she's going to have something we're going to see a chink in Price's armor.
Sure.
He spoke to the Fed last week like they were nothing. I mean, it was like.
So demeaning and just
Yes.
throw away.
There has to be something. And I really look forward to it. I want to see that chink to give it dimensionality, to give him another side.
Well, I think for
make it
him,
believable.
because when he was talking, with the FBI agents and sort of talking about how we need to create this illusion for the public that we have everything in control, that nothing's wrong, and that we basically are on it. So I think for him, having that illusion there, that's his stronghold. That's what he relies on. So poking a hole in that and exposing that and having people see that he's not in control, that he doesn't have it all together, and exposing him for who he really is, I think that is a part of the weakness. And so if Angela can kind of tap into that, and if we can figure out how she can play into that, maybe if it's her, this is just me throwing out, but if it's her like sleeping with him and kind of gaining his trust or something like that, I hope that it doesn't go in that dark direction. 'Cause I don't want to think about her and
We'll see,
him
yeah,
bumping
we'll see.
uglies. But that could possibly be it. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be that cliche, oh, you got me type of thing. It's going to be
Sure.
something that will take some time.
I think she's going to have to pay a price for it. You know what I mean? If she's going to try to do something
No,
from the
you
inside.
are on it tonight.
She'll have to pay a price in some way.
Yeah. Pay the price for price.
Letting that one lie.
So,
I'm gonna write down all these puns
please
as they
do.
happen.
He's
And give
bringing
us
the punny.
10%, okay? 10%.
Absolutely.
You can pick up a book of all of
tens
Taylor's.
of dollars I will make on puns.
Hey, whatever pays the bills.
It's a big
right?
market.
So, really interesting line from their conversation about, once you remove emotion, then basically that's the end game. That's how you win, essentially. So, what did you guys think about this and just sort of how he's trying to just really try to turn her into this like soulless, emotionless, kind of like hard ass person who just, yep, I'll just destroy lives. I'll just sort of make whatever decisions I want without thinking about the repercussions, and how essentially that's sort of the mindset of Evil Corp, and sort of what they do and how they've destroyed lives without having any emotion connected to it at all.
It's just the seduction of power.
Yeah.
That's it.
Seduction.
And, and does she get lost? We don't know. Yeah. We will see.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't wait to talk about the next guy.
Yes.
You
can jump right in.
Yes. We're going. Oh no, we're going to Dominique, right?
Yes. The FBI Dominique with who's her Siri equivalent?
Alexa, that's
Alexa.
the Amazon one. It was funny because that's the commercial that we saw
Oh,
during,
really?
and you were
Was
like,
it?
"That commercial is so
Random.
odd." It's like Alec Baldwin. Yeah, that was Alexa.
Interesting.
Oh, that was well placed, Amazon. It's a well placed commercial.
I want an Alexa.
It's all planned. You know that. He's planned it from the beginning. But yeah, but the interesting thing about Dom is we're getting, for the last 2 episodes, we're just getting bits and pieces, and not enough to really string along. I think it's just like we're peeking into her, and he's bringing her on slowly, which tells me, I believe the second half of the season, her arc is going to be incredible. Kind of like what happened with Angela. I thought, I judged the hell out of Angela last season. I was like, gosh, this is the only character that I thought was so weak, and then little. She's the juiciest. To me, she's one of the juiciest plot lines of the whole show.
Great character right now.
Yeah, and I've seen,
phenomenal.
And so I'm like, I'm trying to pick up on Esmail's beats. I'm like, okay, he's doing this with Dom.
I love that you're playing this head game with the like you're like really trying to outpace him.
He's playing chess with the writer.
Yeah,
and
no, it's
director,
great.
Mr. Rojas.
It's really nice.
It's fine. Basically, I'm Angela and Esmail's Price.
There you go.
All right. Next after
Got you by
show,
the
guys, we'll have some updates for you for that.
No, but there's this affability to Dom's character that I was thinking FBI agent. You're gonna get this stiff character. Later on, she's rolling doobies for Leslie Romero's mom,
which was so smart. Though here's the thing, though, like she might just be real cold. Like she might just be real smart and playing her game. Playing her best move.
Yeah.
Because it worked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's also totally likable. I think she's a really likable character.
That's what I liked. Then that's what it was so winning about that, because like you said right now, she could be a cold-hearted,
Yeah, we will see. She keeps her phone in the safe. I mean,
Yes. Why?
oh, so odd. She needs some furniture. I really want to send her like an IKEA gift card or something.
Yeah, that'd
And
be
at the
nice.
core, you find out that she's lonely.
Right. I was going to say that we see her, because from the first episode, we see her interaction with the man in line, and she's like a whippersnapper, really witty. And, when she's in, with the other FBI agents when they find Romero, and she's, kind of like basically like taking charge, and she's somebody who just seems like she has it a little bit more together. And when she's in her private life, she kind of is just like really pathetic.
Yeah, she doesn't have a lot going on.
Like we were saying, like we just want to give her a little hug, So I wonder how that arc, like why is he revealing that side to her versus some other side or some other characteristics of her? And how is just the duality of those two things going to play into an arc? And like, what's that going to mean? Like, is it going to mean that she's going to be more sympathetic to F Society and help or play more of a role in that realm? Or is it going to be a situation where she's going to be like going after them hardcore for the remainder of season 2?
We need more
We do need more breadcrumbs.
Come on, Esmail.
Taking
Give
it
us more bread.
at face value right now, I think that it's like just with the information I have right now, I would say that I think that she will still come after F Society, at least in the short term. I think that it's still part of the same thing where he's humanizing E-Corp. He's humanizing the villains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is part of the whole philosophy is that everyone's human. Everyone is human. Everyone
Absolutely.
has that bug. Everyone has flaws, and we get to see some of that for really except Price. He's the only one that we don't see it for,
Yeah.
right? But we get to see a weakness in almost every character. And I think that we will with him too
That's
eventually.
great.
Yeah.
All right.
I like that though. I like that she's a villain we don't know, but she's human
Yeah.
regardless.
And it not even so much like, is she a villain? Is
Sure,
she
villain's a
good?
little broad, but
it's just like, what's her role gonna be? 'Cause in this world, everyone is so specific. Even if they're there for just a short amount of time, they play a very specific role, and it's meant to help push the story along in a very monumental way. So when each person comes on, I'm like, okay, who are you? What are you gonna do? What's happening? Type of
Absolutely.
thing. So we'll see how that develops. And then going into the more media pots of this episode, we have Ray, the lovely Craig Robinson.
Ray
I love him in this role
confounds me.
for it's just such an
he's
interesting
great.
role.
It's such a fun role, but I don't know what to think of Ray.
Yeah,
I don't know what to think of Ray
I don't
yet.
either. That whole, well, first we have his interaction with his dead wife,
Right.
or whoever he's created in his mind he's talking to. The whole scene with the dialysis and him eating breakfast, which I thought was just, it was just like a really sweet moment in the episode that just, it has a lot going on. There's a lot of darkness. There's a lot of really weird scenes. Just to kind of see this ordinary guy who doesn't really have a whole lot. I mean, there are some parallels to Elliot. I think he's kind of, if Elliot wasn't so far on the, cuckoo for Cocoa Puff side of his brain, they would relate to each other really well. And so, we kind of see him like, oh, he's just this just nice old swallow guy. And then we see another scene, which has me very confused. I don't know what to make of
that's what's so
who his character
confusing.
is.
It's
What
a
is he
breath of fresh
doing?
air in a sense for me. Outside of the character, outside of the show itself, seeing Craig Robinson tackle a role like this.
Yeah.
Never seen this. I think it's beautiful.
It's a really good role.
I cannot wait to see, and congrats to let's say Rami Malek and the show itself, the Emmy noms and whatnot.
Yeah.
Possibly, I'm
Snapping
calling it
something.
early, maybe something
Call it.
for Craig Robinson. I would love to see him get a nom out of this. It's too early right now. I want to see more, but just the way it's headed, maybe just because I'm conditioned to see him a certain way, and now to see him like this, it's just like, give me more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm
I definitely
expecting the
want
hot
more Ray.
tub to come out somewhere. I'm like, we're going to get a hot tub time machine in here, Craig? Are you going to take Elliot back in time? Okay, no? Okay. Moving on. But so we have the scene with him and this gentleman who's with his family, and we don't really know exactly what. I mean, he's looking for some sort of tech expert, we're assuming, but for the reason.
So it's a flashback in a sense. I believe he was looking for a man to do the job, who I believe now it's Elliot.
He thinks that, he
Yeah.
thinks that it's Elliot, right? And he's just trying to get through to Elliot. Is that the idea?
No. I think Elliot's not the first person he's looked for this job.
Right.
Okay.
So this guy didn't have the information. So
This guy
he's
didn't work out.
moving on to Elliot. So that happened in the past.
Right. So
Gotcha.
it's just showing
what
us
you're
how
saying.
menacing he really is.
Yes.
Yeah, which is not
The
how he is
impression
with
that we
Elliot at
get,
all.
or the impression that we initially got from him walking the dog. Like he just kind of seemed like that neighborhood guy, who
Right.
just is just a sweet old neighborhood guy. But yeah, so
I was examining his office when we see him in his office later. I was trying to figure out what.
Rewatch.
Yeah,
Damn it,
I need-
because there's
I
gonna
need-
be clues there.
I know because I was looking around and I was like, "What kind of office is this?" It almost looks like a government building or something, like the inside of a government building.
I didn't even catch it.
My brain might have just put it there for all I know. But it was like, it was plain, but it was like almost like maybe like a. I don't know.
This is what happens. We watched it,
a
and
Park
literally
and Rec
we're
sort of
in the
thing.
studio 5 minutes later after watching, digesting all of this massiveness in our head.
Yeah, so much to process.
Oh my gosh.
Kernel failure.
I know.
We gotta do a
We're suffering
rewatch.
our own kernel
Yeah.
failure.
We are.
Someone in the chat room, let us know what was in the office. We're going to put them to work as
I
well.
know.
I love
Thank
it.
you
Come on,
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
But I'm trying to think anything else now.
well, taking it to the very end or towards the end, when he's talking with Elliot, he finds when Elliot has the scene, where he goes, which is a great scene, by the way. It was a great monologue. I thought it was very well acted on behalf of Rami Malek, and just a very interesting commentary on sort of what we place our values on, and he talked about how he didn't want to use God as a scapegoat to get out of his problems, and I think that for him that kind of clicked for him. Like, I've been trying to use Mr. Robot as this way to escape, yes, from him, but also to escape from the guilt that I have about a lot of the stuff that's happened, to escape from the life that I left once this whole crash happened and once, the F Society hack went through. So, yeah, I think now him kind of having, just a more realization that he's not really in control and he kind of has to just own up to who he is, what he's done, who Mr. Robot is in his life, and what does that mean for him going forward.
Is this like moving past denial? Is this
Yeah.
could be a big step for him? Admit you have a problem.
Now, can we talk about Ray and Elliot and
Yeah.
their exchange? Maybe we should also take a step back too, because we're already almost buying into Ray. Remember, he found his journal
Yeah.
And so in that
After he
has
left, yeah.
has all of Elliot's secrets, and that's why
Right.
maybe he told him this story about control being an illusion, and all we have is to fall
To
and it's
manipulate
basic-
him. Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm buying. I'm not drinking Ray's Kool-Aid.
Okay.
Not
I'm
quite
not
yet.
drinking Ray's Kool-Aid. I'm just trying to figure out what he's after. I'm trying to figure out what motivates him. And that's what still eludes me.
And your question, Jeff P. just said it was a giant American flag the size of the wall.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think it's government building maybe, or there's still a lot of things that could be.
Yeah.
But-
yeah, both him and Dom, we still haven't quite.
It could be like
figured them
a
out.
warden's office.
Well, that explains
You know?
that thing because we're talking about institutions. You know, he was
Yeah.
institutionalized last week, and he was with the dog last, and that's why I said he's like a guard with a dog. You know,
Yeah.
we're grasping for straws.
Maybe.
Oh, grass. This is so
Yeah.
juicy. I just want to bite this mic. So, excuse me, guys. And moving right along. I know, right? Cover your mics. Hide your kids. Hide your mics. Okay, so then, yeah, talking about. So then, how do we feel now? So at the very, very top of the scene, we kind of started with Elliot and Tyrell. We don't know.
Is this for?
Yes.
How we open the show.
Yeah. So just taking it, bringing it all back to control. Do we think that this is another part of Elliot's psyche? Do you want to just kind of jump right into predictions with that, or what are your feelings on just what Ray said to Elliot and about just sort of stumbling through and him sort of kind of accepting that maybe I need to, I think what he said was, stumbling in the right direction. Like maybe I need to just move and fix the error and just kind of keep going until another error comes up, and then I fix that along with him. So yeah, what's our take on that? Is he drinking the Mr. Robot Kool-Aid? Is he giving up the Adderall and just accepting that Mr. Robot is a part of him now?
Did they show that he was out of Adderall? Was that?
No, I think
Yeah.
it's just he saw Mr. Robot again, so I don't know if he'll continue taking it, if he's kind of accepted that Mr. Robot is a part of him and he
It's a great
needs him.
observation, actually.
Yeah.
You know, with that all wearing off, and what Ray said, just face your demon.
Yeah.
It's time to coexist with this other personality in you,
Yeah.
and just accept it.
Yep. And he made it seem so nice too. It's just what he says. I just do it every day, my dialysis and my breakfast and my wife, and it's all good.
Yeah, I think this is a turning point for Elliot. I think that it could be.
Yeah.
I don't think his internal conflict is nearly over.
Of course not. We got a little snippet of that for the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
But so speaking of that, let's go ahead and just dive into some predictions. Yeah.
All right.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Actually, I got something beside a prediction. We talked about it while we were watching the show. A heads up for the fans that if they do not know, tomorrow morning at 10:45,
Oh, yeah.
10:45 Pacific, Mr. Robot, they're doing something. It's a VR. You have to download an app. It's called the Within app, and they're doing a.
That's just for Android?
It's
Or
for
is it-
Android,
Okay.
and it's for Android and also iOS for
okay, great,
iPhones
great,
as
great.
well. And it's going to give you a VR experience. It's a 12-minute short film that could give you clues of what's going on. It's a companion piece with the show. It's to be debuted tomorrow at Comic-Con, but we'll get to see it live. And the reason I'm saying 10:45 to 10:57 Pacific because it'll only be on once, and then they're pulling
Yeah.
it off.
So you have a one shot to see
You
it.
have one shot to see it, unless someone I'm sure maybe someone will be crafty enough to make a copy of it, but to get that
But
full,
how do you
There's such a
copy the
tease.
whole...
I know, right?
So you gotta have
I
the
just want to be in there and look around,
Yes.
Ugh.
So you got to have the cardboard and whatnot. So definitely download it, guys, because I know what I'm doing at
and check it
10:45.
out. Yeah.
Very
And
cool.
as for
yes.
predictions, what
Yes.
do I say? I missed some of what was going on. I didn't catch. Like I asked you that first line. What did we see in that preview? I still don't know.
I think Mr. Robot was just basically like giving him an ultimatum. If you want to, basically, if you want control, you got to kind of fight for it. And if you lose, basically, then I'm more in control.
Okay, then I'm gonna say it. It's a great sayings called "shit or get off the pot." Elliot,
Okay.
time to do it.
There you go. I'll make a prediction about all of the people that we've been seeing, Leon and Jay and everyone. Or Ray. I think that they're all real people, but I don't think that any of them are. I don't think that almost any of these interactions have actually happened. That's kind of where I am right now. You know what I mean? At least not in this way. It's all a suggestion of something. And that's what I'm trying to like. It's like I'm solving a Rubik's Cube, which I'm not good at. So
I'll support your theory because of last week when they were having the basketball game and the ball. Remember the scene where they were fighting over the ball, and Elliot was given he was narrating right there, and he said he's not afraid of anything. And as that happened, the ball rolled towards Joey Badass's character,
Leon. Yeah.
And then Leon stood up, "What up, cuz?"
Yeah.
And he started the fight. And as he was giving that speech, I'm like, interesting that he would say that as that would happen.
Right.
So it almost made me feel like it's for me, it's.
Maybe they're all fake. Maybe they're all in his head. It could really go either way. But I would if I could, I kind of want them to be real. You know what I mean? But I want them to be like facsimiles of the actual people that they represent, or they look entirely different, or it's maybe they're all one person. But I guess what I'm saying is I hope that it is external from Elliot, from not just in his mind. But I think it's absolutely. I think everything that we see with him right now is definitely affected by his mind, which I love. I love that we're. It's like a whole season is a VR experience of Elliot.
It's kind of
crazy, right?
So this is a hard show to predict, guys. This is a really tough show to predict.
She is the Oracle. I'm telling you.
Really? Okay.
I know. No pressure.
No pressure
Lay it on
whatsoever.
us.
This is only
seriously.
the most compelling show I've ever watched in my entire life.
For the last two seasons, you've given some of the most in-depth analysis, and seriously, I'm telling you right now, what does the Force tell you? Any predictions?
See. I'm drawing upon
Mrs.
the
Robot
AfterBuzz
Guru.
mic. I am thinking that Angela will release those files, and because of one of two reasons. I think that either it's a ploy to sort of gain the trust of Price so that she can kind of show that she's a player in this game and that she is able to compete.
Gotcha. Okay, I continue, but I want to ask a question about
Yes.
that. Okay.
Or the opposite end is that she actually really is in this for the purpose that she started it, which is to expose these people. So either way, I think it can work. But I think that she might try to play it more to appeal to Price. But I do think that she is going to eventually play that card. She may not do it right away, but I think that there will be something that kind of pushes her to make that decision.
Gotcha.
Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, we'll figure out. But that's going to be my number one prediction. And then...
Oh, you get another one.
Ooh, there's two. Bring it
I know,
on.
right? This is like... All right, you
You
bring it in.
you seem to be nervous about this one.
In the meantime, I want to shout out the fans as well.
Yes,
Send
do
us
it.
your predictions as well. Send us all your
please.
comments, and make sure to rate us 5 stars on iTunes. Please
Yes.
let us know what you think, what you want to see.
Yeah.
Definitely, we want to know what you guys think. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Second prediction before we're out of here.
Second prediction, I'm thinking that Dominique is going to kind of figure out what's going on, or she's going to start to put the pieces together of what is going on. But there's something in me that's saying that she won't expose them. That either she'll learn more about what's happening and maybe appeal to it or connect with it in some way. Either way, I don't think it'll be a reveal of, oh my God, this is F Society. I think that she's very curious and intuitive and kind of has her own agenda going on. So I think that she'll play to that more. So dun dun dun.
A lot of story left to be told.
Yes,
So much.
true. And thank you guys. Again, be sure to rate us on iTunes. Give us some thumbs up as well. Leave your comments. That helps us to keep providing you all with free content. So we appreciate all of the love, all of the support. And yes, let's go ahead and sign it off. Where can they find you guys on social media if they want to hang out with you later?
Awesome. You can find me on Twitter at Boldt, Boldt, or on Instagram at Boldt, also Boldt.
Nice, man. And you can follow me on the deep recesses of Reddit. Or you can follow me at JC Rubio TV on
Nice.
Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and pretty much across the board.
All right.
Cool.
You guys can always check me out, Facebook and Instagram, Ashley_Chatman. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for episode 3. Have a good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.